Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's Diego, and it's February the 20th, 2025. February the 20th, 2025, 9:30 in the morning, Central Time, US, here in the Panhandle of Florida. And my beautiful wife from Venezuela, Karina, she is at work. So let me just pop this camera over a little bit. So I decided I'd do a live stream for you guys. And if anybody's up and about, or unless you are at work, maybe you are at work, then you won't be able to join the live stream. Maybe you'll be able to catch it later. But there were some questions from yesterday from the live stream, and that I wanted to continue the conversation if you were still going to be here. And the K1 visa process, the green card process, people are getting concerned that it's going to slow down with President Trump. Well, it's not going to get any worse. It's just going to probably get more stricter. Okay. So if you are concerned about your K1 visa getting denied because of Trump, then that's not going to happen. Okay. President Trump is not going to deny your green card or your K1 visa so long as you qualify for the benefit. And you got to make sure, as long as you qualify, the Trump administration is not going to block your processing or your administrative review for your benefit. Remember, the K1 visa is not a right. If you are married to a foreign national, that's not a right for you to come to this country. It's still a benefit. Okay, so you just got to keep maintaining your qualifications for it. Your income, you got to now. You have to meet it. You have to be in a relationship, right? You just don't go to a foreign country, meet somebody for the weekend, and then fly back to the United States and then file a K1 visa application because you're madly in love. That is not the way the process works. When you just suppose you're in the United States of America, you're dating an American. How long are you going to date that person for before you decide that you want to get married? Are you just gonna meet somebody? You live in Georgia. So let's suppose you live in Atlanta, and you fly down to Pensacola to meet somebody in Florida, and then decide you want to get married. It doesn't work that way. When you put together a K1 visa package for a K1 visa application, you got to show at least a 1-year relationship at a minimum. If you want immigration to take you seriously, you want to show at least 2 trips to see your beneficiary. When I was dating Karina, I dated Karina for 3 years. And I even relocated to Colombia temporarily so that we weren't separated. And we rented an apartment together in Bogota, Colombia. Now, I love Colombia. The Colombian people are fantastic, but I just didn't care for living in Bogota because of the weather and because it was such a high place to live. The altitude, the mountains, the Andes Mountains, it wasn't an easy place for me to live because of the thin air. It made it hard for me to breathe. Okay, but that didn't stop me from dating Karina, and we dated for 3 years. I brought her to the United States on a K1 visa. It took almost 2 years just to get to the visa interview because back, that was the tail end of COVID, and the State Department, basically told everybody to stay home at the embassies around the world. So when there's no interviews being conducted, then that means that there were no K1 visas being issued, right? But we're beyond all that. We're past all that now. Now we're in 2025, and COVID is just a distant memory. And now people are getting concerned that Trump's going to block your K1 visa and your green card application, but he's not going to do that. Remember, President Trump's wife is from Slovakia, I believe. She came to the United States on a work visa. The United States needs people. They need engineers. They need doctors. So if you're looking at coming to America on a work visa, and then you meet somebody, let's suppose you come in on a work visa and you meet an American, that's great. Then you date each other while you're here on the work visa. And if you decide you want to get married, that's great too. But the process would be you marry the American, and then you return to your home country, and then you process a spousal visa. Well, the U.S. citizen will. Okay. You don't want to jinx your visa application by trying to buck the system and trying to take shortcuts. Don't take shortcuts in this process. If you've known each other for 3 months, and you know this is the lady for you. Be patient. Make another trip back and go visit with her again or with him. Make a couple of trips. And then when you submit your K-1 visa application, make sure that you have, 2 sets of boarding passes of you visiting your beneficiary in the foreign country. I don't care what country it is, doesn't matter. There may be some difficulties, or there are not so much difficulties, but there may be some long delays in getting K-1 visas approved for folks who live in some countries like Iran. If you're an Iranian and you live, let's say, in Turkey, you got out of Iran, you moved to Turkey, you met an American, and he filed a K-1 visa for you. There may be a long delay because you're from Iran. And it's not because Americans don't like Iranians. We don't have a problem with the Iranian people. It's the government that's the problem. So there's going to be more stringent investigations. If you're from Syria, if you're from Iran, if you're from Libya, if you're from those kind of countries, there's going to be some stringent investigations done before you get your K-1 visa approved. Okay, now we don't have a U.S. embassy in Tehran, Iran. So if you're an Iranian and you're dating an American and you want to get married, you're going to have to go to an embassy interview in probably somewhere like Abu Dhabi, in the United Arab Emirates, Turkey, somewhere like that. But don't give up. Don't surrender. Don't throw in the towel if you don't think, if you want to marry, if you're in love with somebody, then you're going to find a way to get through the process, right? Right? Yeah, of course you are. Now, when you put your green card, let's talk about the K-1 visa application. Let's talk about green cards later. The K-1 visa application should include what? What information is immigration looking for? Well, they want to see that you're in a real relationship. They want to see lots of pictures with you and your family and friends. They want to see pictures with you with family and friends. When I was in Colombia with Karina, okay, I met pretty much just everybody, all of Karina's friends, and we always had photo opportunities together. So back in, I think it was like August of 2021, I was with Karina and all her friends, and we got a group picture on the street together in Bogota. That went in my K-1 visa application. Diego with Karina, and I listed all the names of her friends. When you print the pictures, you can take a picture on your cell phone or whatever. You print them. You don't have to print them on photo paper. You don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on photo paper. You can print the pictures on regular Xerox paper. Okay, and then you have to identify who's in the photos, when the picture was taken, and where. If you don't include that information on your photos when you submit it for your K-1 visa, you're going to get everything sent back to you. Okay, so you want to submit at least 30 to 40 pictures. You've been dating each other for about a year. You got 30, 40 pictures spread out over that 12 months, okay, with family and friends, etc. You've identified who's in the picture, where the pictures were taken, etc. And then you have a section, you get an Office Depot binder and create a section for photos, and then list the photos from when you started dating each other to when you flew back to the United States and processed the K-1. You got to prove communications. Okay, you've been dating each other for a year. How do you talk to each other? How do you communicate with each other? You can use Yahoo Messenger. You can use emails. You can use WhatsApp. Those are ways to communicate, right? So when I first started dating Karina, I didn't use Yahoo Messenger because the information is not private. Anybody from Yahoo can go and read the stuff you're writing. So we went and switched to WhatsApp. So we were chatting back and forth in WhatsApp for a year. Okay, and I would print I would screenshot the chat, and then I would print it, and it would timestamp it on the print. Okay, and I had one binder that was solely for communications. Okay, so I went to Office Depot and I bought a small binder for communications, and I bought 2 binders for the actual K-1 visa paperwork. And then I bought document protectors to protect all the paperwork. Now, I included in the K-1 visa application my last tax return, a Form I-134, the Declaration of Financial Support. I included my 1099s, W-2s, etc. Back then, I had W-2s. So even though that information, the financial part of it, is not really required until you get to the embassy interview, I included it in the K-1 visa application to make the K-1 visa application stronger. Okay, so immigration can see, okay, yeah, Diego makes enough money to support his beneficiary. All right, that's what I did. I had 3 trips to go see her, and I took the boarding passes. I took a picture of them with my Canon camera, my M50. I kept the pictures. I used to keep, because those boarding passes, the ink will wear away eventually over time. Now, Boogeyman is the first on the live stream. Good morning, Diego. I sent off my package. Should be delivered today. Yeah, your adjustment of status. Good job. So you filed for the green card. Excellent. Now, hopefully you sent it using FedEx, UPS, or DHL. You don't want to submit a green card application using the postal service. Okay. I bought some pictures for the house here, and it got shipped by the postal service, U.S. Postal Service. And one picture, it just took forever. It took 5 weeks to get here. I was tracking it, and that's insane. Okay, you use FedEx, like I mentioned. Okay, good. That's a good job, because when you use a courier service, okay, they're a private company, and if they are in business to make money, and if they mess up something, they lose customers. If the U.S. Postal Service mess up something and lose customers, they don't care. They don't. But if FedEx loses a customer, okay, that's not good, right? So they're going to be more, more stringent and more concentrating on getting your green card from wherever it is you live to wherever it is you send it to. And also, don't use your credit card to pay for your green card. Don't use a credit card. When you pay for your green card application, use a cashier's check or a personal check. Boogeyman, I applied for the adjustment of status and the work permit. Good. Hopefully I'll get a work permit in a month or 2. You should get it in about 4 to 5 weeks, maybe 6 weeks, Boogeyman. You'll get the work permit, and the work permit's good for 5 years. But you got to apply for them both at the same time. Okay? When you apply for a work permit, you include that form with that paperwork with the green card application. And don't forget the passport photos. You got to have a minimum of 2 passport photos with your green card application. And you're going to have a passport photo for the green card, and you're going to have a passport photo for the work permit. Okay? So you got to put passport photos in your green card application. You'll get the work permit first in about a month or so, and then in about 7 to 9 months, you'll get the green card. But more than likely now, with the new administration, the new president in office, they're getting more stricter on doing the face-to-face green card visa interviews. So you may end up having to go in front of another immigration officer for a green card interview. But don't worry about it. I mean, the same applies to us. Now, Karina and I, we're not worried about going to another green card interview. And we went, Karina survived her scary visa interview at the embassy in Bogota, Colombia, no problem. And now if we have to go to another interview, that's fine. It'll probably be in New Orleans or in Montgomery, Alabama, somewhere like that. It's just a pain, because we got to take time off from what we're doing to do it. A night in a hotel, perhaps, gas for the car, etc. But it's okay. It is what it is. But good job, Boogeyman. You'll get once FedEx delivers your package to immigration. If you included Form G1145, I'll write it down here. Form G1145. Immigration will send you a text message with a receipt number. More than likely, it'll be an IOE receipt number. Okay. And then you can use that on your online account to keep track of the progress of your green card application. When you put together a green card package, Okay, you want to make sure you put a cover sheet together, and a cover sheet basically is from you, the beneficiary, to immigration, and then your sponsor and where you live, your name and address, your contact information, and then you're going to list everything that's in the green card application. So what do you have to put in your green card application? What do you got to put in there? Boogeyman, I submitted 2 of them, one for adjustment of status package, one with my work permit. You submitted two what? You included your work permit with your green card application, right? You put them in the same FedEx box, right? You got your work permit paperwork and then your green card application, and you put the documents together, and then you wrote a check for each one, or one check for both, it doesn't matter, made out to U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Now, don't abbreviate the check, okay? And don't use your credit card to pay for the green card. If you do, you're going to end up, your bank may not recognize the transaction, and you end up getting a block on your credit card, and then immigration doesn't get paid. And when immigration doesn't get paid, there's issues. Then your green card process slows up. G1145. Okay, good, excellent. So you included that. That's good. So when immigration open up your green card package application, they get the FedEx box, they open it, and they pull out your green card application. They're going to find the G1145 on the top with the check, right? And then there's going to be all the paperwork that you put in excellent order. Joe Nadi, hi Diego, can I apply for a community college on a K1 while still waiting for my work permit and green card? Well, it depends on the community college. It depends on what state you live in. It depends where you live. So I don't know. If you have a green card, you can apply. Yeah, absolutely. You got your green card in your hand. You can go in there and you can start applying for community college. You live in California. I don't see why not in California. I don't see that would be a problem. In Florida, it may not work out so much because they want to see that you're a legal resident first before they, sign you up for community college. Perhaps you got to have at a minimum a social security number, right? To start college courses, you got to have at a minimum a social security number, right? So what I would do is, if you have your social security number, go into the college in California and see if you can sign up for courses, But if you don't have any proof of residency, like you don't have a social security number, they're going to ask you for proof of residency. But I don't think it would be a problem. Well, why not? The worst thing they can do is tell you no, right? So if you have your social security card, go into the college admissions and see if you can sign up. I want to get Karina back in college also. I want to get her into school too. Now she has a degree in tax accounting, but she wants to do something different. So she's going to see if she can apply her college credits and go and do something different while she's working. Boogeyman, we made a pay order to pay for it from Publix. We didn't write a check in case some bills gets out form or if money gets shortened up. So we did what was best for our situation. Okay. So you paid for it with how did you pay for it? A money order? A money order is only good up to what, $1,000, I think. And the green card application is $1,440. So what did you do? Get 2 money orders or 3 money orders and how did you combine it all? Cashier's check or personal check's actually the best way to do it. But whatever's best for you, that's fine. Let's see, Joe Natty, thank you, Diego. And yeah, I have a social security number. Okay, Joel, if you have a social security number, you can take that to the college admissions office with proof of residency. You're going to be on the water bill, the trash bill, the deed to the house, the apartment lease. You got a proof residency in the state of California. Now there may be a minimum time frame that you have to be a resident of California before you can sign up for a college to get in-state tuition costs. You know, if you want to pay the in-state tuition cost, then you got to be a resident of the state that you live in. I think it's what depends on where you live. It could be 90 days. It could be 6 months. It could be 12 months. Okay. If you can't prove residency long term, then you're going to have to pay out-of-state tuition rates until you can prove residency. But it all depends on the state where you live. Okay. California, I don't know. It shouldn't be so bad. It shouldn't be too hard to get into a community college there. And it's a good thing to do that. The more education you get, the stronger the benefit you are to the United States, right? Now, once you get signed up into community college, and you start taking courses and you start getting transcripts, keep all those courses and transcripts for your 10-year green card application. So when you file for your 10-year green card, hopefully by then you graduated from college, you have a college degree from that university or community college, 2-year college. If you have a college degree, you get an associate's degree, put that in your green card application. Okay? The way things are going right now with President Trump is he wants, people to improve themselves. He wants you to become American. He wants you to learn about our country, our history, our government. Okay? He wants to make sure that, if he's going to issue you a green card, because ultimately it's the President of the United States who issues you the green card. You know that, right? Who works for the president? The State Department. Who controls the visas and the green cards? The State Department. The State Department works for the president. So when you get a green card issued to you, that was a gift from the President of the United States. Basically, if you look at it, if you break it down into subsections. So Trump's going to make sure that you really are going to be become Americanized and blend in and become part of this great country. Let's see. Boogeyman. Yeah, so we made like 4 money orders, put them on top. One for the $260 for the work permit, okay. And 3, 500, 500, and 460 to pay for the money order for the green card. And you put it all on top of the I-485 and you put it in a Ziploc bag, right? When you file for your green card application, you get a Ziploc bag and you put the check in there or the money order or the cashier's check. And then you get another Ziploc bag and you put the 2 passport photos in there. And then you put that that goes on the front of the I-485. Okay? Because when you file for a green card, what paperwork are you going to file? You're filing the I-485, right? The adjustment of status paperwork. You're going to file, the sponsor's going to fill out the 864, the affidavit of support, right? You're going to fill out a G1145, so you get a text message saying that they received your green card application. Okay, you're going to get a new medical exam done, so you're going to get a 693 from the civil surgeon who's authorized by the State Department to give green card medical exams, right? You're going to do that. You're going to include the I-94 in your green card application. You can get that off the Border Patrol website. You're going to include your marriage certificate, right? Got to have the marriage certificate. You're going to include the blown up copy, color copy of the biographic page of your passports, the sponsors and the beneficiaries, a blown up copy of the K-1 visa, right? You're going to go to your passport. There's your K-1 visa, and you're going to put it on an Office Depot photocopier, blow it up nice and big. Okay, you're going to include wedding photos of the wedding, photos from the reception that you had. There's a lot of things that's involved, and the process doesn't stop till you become a U.S. citizen. So now you've taken your medical exam, you put it in the green card application. You don't have to repeat the medical exam for your 10-year green card. You don't have to have a medical exam for your 10-year green card. You don't have to include the I-94 for your 10-year green card. Okay, you don't have to include a copy of the K-1 visa for your 10-year green card, because that's already been adjudicated for your 2-year green card. And then you want to become a U.S. citizen. Well, you look at your 2-year green card. You look on the green card. You look at the issue date, And 3 years from the issue date of the 2-year green card is when you can apply for US citizenship. Okay? You apply for your 10-year green card 90 days before your 2-year green card expires. So Karina's green card, her 2-year green card, expires in June of 2026, next year, right? It just goes away. So in March of next year, we're going to apply for her 10-year green card, which is 90 days before her 2-year green card expires. If you don't lift the conditions off the 2-year green card within 90 days before it expires, if you file too early, if you lift the conditions too early, the whole thing will be sent back to you. If you file too late, if you file for the green card, for the 10-year green card a month or two after your 2-year green card has already been terminated, you're going to be deported. The immigration is not going to accept the green card application, and they'll send you home, back to your home country. Let me see here. Boogeyman. Also, my wife and sponsor, she also changed her last name on the driver's license, right? There you go. And we have the same address on everything, bills. Her driver's license, it took us 3 months to put all together. That's okay. That's good. You didn't want to rush it. Here's my advice, okay? You come to the United States on a K-1, you get married within 90 days. If you don't get married within 90 days, you will be deported. If you don't get married within the 90 days on the I-94, you get an I-94, you print it from the Border Patrol website, and it gives you the specific period of time. That's basically your temporary residency status in the United States. The K-1 visa is irrelevant at that point. When you land in America, the K-1 visa becomes irrelevant. Now you're working off the I-94. You get married within 90 days on the I-94, and then you're in status. And then you take your time, take your 40, 50, 60 days and put together your green card package. Don't be in a big rush to file for the green card. It's not a race, okay? It is an administrative process that requires your constant attention, okay? Pay attention to the details when you file for your 2-year green card. Make sure you spell your name correctly. Make sure you put the passport number down correctly. When they ask you where did you get married, what was the date that you got married, don't mess it up. The date on the 485 when you got married, that date has to match the marriage certificate. So what does immigration do what does immigration do when they get your green card application? They open it up and they start to adjudicate it. First thing they do is they take the I-94 and your marriage certificate and they put them on a table and they look at them and they make sure that you got married within 90 days. That's the first thing they do. Okay? The next thing they do is they look at your last tax return that you submitted with the green card application. That will be your American citizen sponsor's last tax return. And they're going to make sure the income is sufficient. And that the W-2, the amount of money that shows up on the W-2 is equal to the amount of money that shows up on line 9 of the 1040. Okay, so whatever money you made, the 1040 is where it shows how much money you made for the year. And then the W-2 is where the employer sends you the information to file your taxes, right? It all has to jive. It all has to match up. So it's critical that you don't make any mistakes when you're filling out the paperwork. They'll take the passport, they'll take your passport, the foreign passport. Karina was Venezuelan, her Venezuelan passport. They look at the passport number in her passport, and they cross it over to the number that was in the 485. They have to match. If there's any errors in typos, names, numbers, everything gets sent back to you. And then you have one opportunity to fix it. If you get an RFE, a request for further evidence, you got to prove something that you forgot to include. If you don't file the RFE correctly on the second shot, then you'll get a notice of intent to deny your green card. They're not messing around. This immigration process is very strict. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney, okay? I don't give you any legal advice, and I don't work for USCIS. But I got 11 years experience doing this. I've helped hundreds of people. You know, I've even filled out green card paperwork for people. I filled out K1 visa. I put K1 visas together for people who, you know, who are friends. And, you know, Karina, my wife, she's from Caracas, Venezuela. She has a nice house up in the mountains of Venezuela, and she gave it to her mom. You know, she didn't want to live in Venezuela anymore, but not because she didn't want to be with her family, but because the government sucks. You know, you don't see too many people, okay, trying to escape from America into other countries. Lots of people are trying to get into the United States from other countries. And hopefully it's they're doing it legally. Okay. You know, if you're watching this live stream and you are in the country illegally, my recommendation to you is go back home to your home country and self-deport. Because if you get caught, okay, if the immigration folks find you in the country illegally, they're going to fingerprint you, they're going to prosecute you, they're going to deport you, and then you're going to have a ban on coming back to the United States, maybe for 10 years, maybe for your life. Okay? So if you're in the country illegally, go back home, and that will hopefully save you from any future problems, you know, in the future. Come to this country the right way. So you're coming into the United States with a K1 visa. You did everything by the book. You went through you got your police certificates from wherever countries you lived in. You had your medical exam done at the embassy for the embassy interview. You know, it's all so much stuff you got to do. Girl Dragon, look at that! Look at that super sticker from Girl Dragon. We appreciate you, Girl Dragon. Now Karina's at work. Okay. And Karina, she basically administers the channel. She keeps me from messing up. Okay. She helps me with the live stream. She gets them. She doesn't forget. But I have got today, I can't give you a Mountain Dew salute because I was grabbed a mellow yellow. So I'll give you a mellow yellow salute. Normally it's Mountain Dew. But I'm down to one Mountain Dew, and I got to save it for the next live stream. Thank you, Girl Dragon. We appreciate it. Karina appreciates you. And Girl Dragon, I love what you do. Thank you. Hey, I love what I do. I love trying to help folks. Okay? An immigration attorney will charge you $5,000, $6,000. Okay? Perhaps more, or maybe a little bit less. But that's a lot of money for processing a green card or a K1 visa, right? So if you hang out with me on the channel, and when Karina's usually here, but she's working right now, if you hang out with us on this live stream, I'll answer your questions for free and get you through the process. So you don't have to be paying out this stupid money. Use that money for other things, like a vacation somewhere. Okay? And Boogeyman, you didn't want to rush the green card application. That's good. That's good. That's what you should do. You shouldn't be in a big rush. You know, I don't know if it's, you know, human nature. It's human nature. You meet somebody, you fall in love with each other, and you want to get married, and you want to get the paperwork done. It's human nature that you want to get it done as quick as possible. But immigration has put in place a process where you can't do that. Immigration has put in process a procedure which slows everything down. Okay? Why is that? Well, that helps prevent making stupid mistakes. You know, the lady from the Philippines falls in love with the American, and then she realizes, well, maybe no, he's not really the guy I really want to be with. And if the process was quick, she would be in the United States in a miserable relationship, unhappy. So immigration, they slow it down for you. They put all these little speed bumps in the road so that it gives you time to build a relationship with somebody. It gives you time to make sure this is the right thing that you're doing. Okay, you're going to know if it is or not, but you get frustrated because it takes such a freaking long time to get through it. Okay? But bear with it, hang in there, and if you're in a real relationship, if you love each other, you'll get through it. You know, Karina and I took 2 years to get her visa interview at the embassy in Bogota. That's a long time, but I'm a patient person. Karina was a patient person. She still is. So we waited out the process. Julian ALO, hello Diego, how are you? I'm good. They delivered my work permit already. God, just still waiting for my green card. Julian ALO gets a mount. You're going to get a mellow yellow salute because I'm down to one Mountain Dew and I have to save it for the next live stream. But now, Girl Dragon, with that super sticker, okay, I can, when I go pick up Karina from work, I can swing by Walmart and get a 6-pack of Mountain Dew. So Girl Dragon, you did good there. Remember, about one thing about this channel, okay? It's probably the only YouTube channel in the world that doesn't ask anybody to subscribe to the channel. I never ask anybody to subscribe, okay? And I never ask anybody to hit that freaking bell thing, whatever the heck it is. And I never ask anybody to share the videos. That's on you guys. If the information is helpful to you, you're going to do that anyway. You know, when I watch a YouTube channel, I'm trying to learn something, like I want to learn how to, I don't know, put a window bracket in or something. And if the first thing that person asks me to do is subscribe to their channel, I just go to the next video. I mean, to me, that's ridiculous. Either you like the stuff or you don't like the stuff. That's the way it works, right? That's how capitalism works. In a capitalist country like the United States, it's a republic, you know. If you like McDonald's burgers, you go eat at McDonald's. But if you think Hardee's makes a better hamburger, you go to Hardee's. Does McDonald's and Hardee's, when they run their YouTube commercials, do they say like and subscribe? No, they don't do that. It's to me, it's like panhandling. Anyway, but we appreciate you, Go Dragon. And I will let Karina know that you are going to restock me with a 6-pack of Mountain Dew today. Julian, I'm happy for you. You got your work permit. Now, when you look at your work permit, it should be good for 5 years. Your work permit's good for 5 years. So you can relax and wait for your green card, right? And if I remember, Julian, didn't you have to go through some kind of RFE? Didn't you get hit with an RFE from immigration? And then I helped you fix it, if I recall. And Gold Dragon, a mellow yellow salute. Today's mellow yellow day. But Mountain Dews will be back on the table on the next live stream. I don't know, if you are going to travel when you get your green card, your 2-year green card. Remember, a 2-year green card is a conditional green card. Basically, the U.S. government has put an ankle bracelet on you, and they're going to watch you for the next 2 years to see what you do. They're going to keep an eye on you for the next 2 years, okay? And then when you go to lift the conditions off of your 2-year green card, then you will get your 10-year green card as long as you qualify for the benefit. A Girl Dragon, I will have me a mellow yellow in Minnesota, at least. Minnesota. Okay, so let's do this. Let's give a mellow yellow salute to Girl Dragon and all of her friends in Minnesota. It tastes pretty good. Let's see. Julian, ALO. Diego, my sister's boyfriend got tourist visa. So your sister's boyfriend got a tourist visa, and my sister has only green card, and she wants her boyfriend to remain in the United States. What can they do? If they do a court marriage, can they adjust status? Julian, listen. If your sister's boyfriend has a tourist visa, and he comes to the United States and marries your sister on a tourist visa, that's immigration fraud. And a tourist visa is a visa issued to somebody to go visit Disney World, to go to the Grand Canyon, to go check out the Space Needle, to go up the Empire State Building. It's a tourist visa to visit friends. A tourist visa is for doing touristy stuff. It's not for getting married. Okay? So your question is, what can they do? Well, here's the thing. Because your sister only has a green card, she doesn't qualify for a K1 visa. She qualifies for a spousal visa. Remember, only a US citizen can apply for a K1 visa. So what your sister would have to do is this. When her boyfriend goes back to his country, wherever that is, your sister can then go to that country and they can get married in his country, get a certified copy of the marriage certificate. She comes back to the United States, and then she files for a spousal visa, I-130. Your sister has a green card. I'll repeat myself. Your sister has a green card. She doesn't qualify for the K1 visa, but she can qualify for the spousal visa. Okay? If your sister's boyfriend marries your sister on a tourist visa, that's a big problem for immigration. Trump is the president now. Trump will probably make sure that visas are used for what they're used for: tourism, K1s, and spousal. Okay? So here's my advice to your sister, and make sure she listens to me. She needs to go to she needs to fly to the country where her boyfriend lives after his tourist stuff is up. Once he's done his tourist visit, he needs to go back home. She needs to fly there, get married, come back to the United States, keep the boarding passes of the trip to go visit with him, get lots of pictures with family and friends in his country, put together a fantastic spousal visa, and apply for a spousal visa as a green card holder. Okay? But there will be a huge immigration problem if they get married in the United States on a tourist visa. It will be a problem, especially now. Okay, and it could result in a denial of the whole thing. So then so she's going to be married to somebody, but they're going to be pulled apart by immigration because he violated the tourist visa. All right. So if you listen to me, Julian, tell your sister what I just said, and they will be fine. Then they'll get the visa as long as they qualify. Julian ALO, yes, I went through the RFE and still waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. But here's the thing. I've helped you fix your RFE. I helped you through it. I got you fixed. And now I said you would get the work permit, which you did. Now you just got to wait for the green card. And if it's going to maybe take 9 months, 8-9 months, hopefully less. But put in your mind, what's today? February. So let's say March, May. So let's say by July or August you get your green card at the latest. And you're probably going to have to go in front of an immigration officer for a green card interview. But don't panic. I will have to probably do the same thing with Karina. Okay, when it depends on who's the president of the United States. The president controls the borders of this country. Although, President Biden, he didn't control the borders of our country. He was a total disaster for our country. Basically destroyed our economy, in my opinion, based on what I see, and what's being uncovered by the Department of Government Efficiency. And Elon Musk and his team are uncovering all kinds of corruption and bad stuff. And that hurts Americans, and it hurts you guys who are coming here legally. So let's see what happens. Hopefully Trump gets the country squared away, which he is. I got full confidence in him doing that. Because remember, Trump's not a politician. He's an entrepreneur. And right now we have a capitalist entrepreneur running the country, not a kiss-butt Republican or a kiss-butt Democrat. Because politicians, they take the campaign contributions, they tell you one thing and do another thing. But Trump doesn't need money. He's a billionaire. He doesn't need a paycheck even. When he was president the first time, he didn't work. He worked for free, basically. He gave his money to other parts of the government. So you're coming to the United States, Mr. Beneficiary, Miss Beneficiary, at a fantastic time. Okay. Now, I'm not a Republican. I'm not a Democrat. Okay, I'm independent. I'm an independent. And what I want to see happen is I want to see beneficiaries. I want to see you get your green cards. I want to see you get into the country, get good jobs, make good money, and have a great life here in the United States. All right. President Trump, I'll speak on his behalf. I can do this on this particular instance. He doesn't care what the color of your skin is. He doesn't care. What he cares about is you come to this country the right way, the legal way. Medical exam, police checks, the sponsor's qualified financially, etc., etc. That's all he asks. Then he'll shake your hand. If you become a U.S. citizen while Trump is president, he's going to send you a letter. Congratulations on becoming a U.S. citizen. And it'll be an auto pen, but his signature is going to be on it. If you're in the country illegally, if you snuck in illegally, you made up some bogus asylum request, you're going to be kicked out of this country. Trump's going to find you and boot you out of here with his team. Scott Boyne got my wife's green card package returned. Apparently, I was supposed to include an I-130 for a priority date. Now, if you came in on a spousal visa, here's the difference. Let me explain to you, Scott, where the mistake here is, okay? If your wife came in on a K-1 visa, you don't have to fill out an I-130. It's irrelevant to the K-1. But if she came in on a spousal visa, okay, then you do include the I-130 for a priority date. But there's no priority dates for a wife or a K-1. There's no such thing as a priority date. Now, you don't fill out an I-130 for a K-1 visa application. You said, my wife's green card package was returned because we were supposed to include an I-130. Let me look one second, right? Let me look. And I'm going to say that's a mistake from immigration. A petition for alien relative. This is used, a U.S. citizen, lawful permanent resident, U.S. national, U.S. established. This is if you're bringing mom over to the United States. Just proof for a priority date. You don't fill out an I-130 for a K-1 visa application. You don't do it. Let me check something real quick to make. This is if you fill out an I-130 if you are an Afghan national. She's not from Afghanistan, is she? You use an I-130 to petition an alien relative. Your brother, your mom, your sister. There's no, she's from Thailand. You don't have to fill out an I-130. Immigration screwed up there, boys and girls. So just go ahead and respond to it, but you don't fill out an I-130 for a K-1 visa application. The forms that you fill out for a K-1 visa application is the 485, the 864, the 693, and the I-94. I-130 doesn't happen. I'm looking right here. It's for a relative. When you petition a relative like mom, dad, brother, sister, there's a priority date that has to be assigned because it takes about 10 years to bring your brother over, or about a year and a half to bring mom over. So you have to fill out an I-130 to establish a priority date for a family member, not for your wife. A K-1 visa application does not require a priority date. There is no such thing as a priority date for a K-1 visa applicant. There are infinite visas available for K-1 visas. There's no priority date. Immigration has messed up big time. Seriously, Scott, you're getting the Amtrak shaft right there. So your wife got her green card package returned I was supposed to include an I-130. No, you don't. You don't include an I-130 for a K-1 visa. You don't get a priority date for a K-1 visa. Immigration issue priority dates for family members like mothers, brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers. That's it. She's from. You need to call USCIS. You got to call them up and ask them, what the heck is this all about? Okay. They must have misread it somewhere. Maybe they thought you were filing for for your wife's mom to come over. When I file well, actually, I can't do it because I've already maxed out. But when Karina becomes a U.S. citizen, I've got no doubt she's going to file a petition for her mom to come over here. Okay, I got no problem with her mom coming here. Her mom's in Venezuela, so she'll have to go to the embassy in Bogota, Colombia for the interview. But that's when I filed the I-130 for Karina's mom. Anybody on this channel right now who filed a K-1 visa, did you include an I-130? Let me put the answer here. No. It's a priority date is only issued for a limited number of visas for moms, dads, and brothers and sisters. That's it. A K-1 is an immediate family member. Immediate, which means there's no priority date. So you may want to, Scott, you may want to relook over that RFE. Relook over that green card package. Did they cash the check? Did they take your money? I'm just curious. If they didn't take your money, if they just sent everything back to you, resubmit it again, just like you did. No, return. Okay, so you're good. Just redo the K-1 visa app. Did they stamp all kinds of stuff all over the paperwork? Did they run did they run your paperwork through a printing machine that basically stamped up all the paperwork to show, okay, I know my stuff, right? Here's what you do, Scott. Here's what you do. You redo the K-1 visa application completely. Make sure you check that this K-1, make sure you include a copy of your wife's K-1 visa and just resubmit it. You don't need an I-130. They screwed up. Immigration messed it up. Do you trust me? Do you trust me? Resubmit it without, you don't have to include an I-130. I-130s is for Afghan nationals and for if you're bringing your, there you go. Just resubmit it. But you have to redo the paperwork because immigration stamped all this crap all over your paperwork, right? Let me do this. You're going to get mega pixie dust all over that resubmitted green card application. And you're going to get a mellow yellow slip. I got one Mountain Dew left, but I can go to Walmart and restock today. Just resubmit the green card application. But you don't need an I-130. I'm looking right here. It's a petition for an alien relative. Your wife isn't your freaking relative. She's your wife. She's not a relative. She's your wife. Okay? So USCIS basically had a crash and burn on your green card application, but it's not gonna slow it down. Okay, maybe it slowed it down a little bit, but because you got to redo everything. But just redo everything, and whatever paperwork they sent you with all this crap stamped on it, because it's been stamped, it's been, you know, it's been immigration has basically, you know, invalidated all that paperwork you sent. Just go on your computer, redo everything. Don't get angry. They had some idiot who doesn't know what the hell she's doing or he's doing. Basically cost you about 2 weeks of time. That's all. You got it? I'm trying to help you here. Don't panic. Your wife's going to get her green card, and somebody received your green card application that was a complete freaking idiot, okay, who didn't know what the heck she was doing, or he or she was doing, total incompetence, and it's basically giving you a big headache. But don't panic. You are going to get the green card, resubmit everything from the beginning, rewrite a new check. Don't use that same check. Rewrite the check so you got a different date on the check, and somebody else will receive your green card application and go, okay, Scott, let's get this done. Okay. There was somebody who got a hold of your green card package, all right, that basically probably needs to be fired from wherever they were working. They need to be fired. Let's see here. Julian, I submitted my adjustment of status since May. Right, I remember. July 18th, you got an RFE of last year. August, you submitted the RFE. When do you think you'll get back to me? It all depends. Okay? It all depends on how busy they are and how much stuff they have to research on your green card. You got your work permit. You can get a job. You can start doing stuff. And you're going to be just fine, okay? Just be patient. The work permit's good for 5 years. Let me see. I'm just checking. I thought it was a message on YouTube. You'll be okay. Hey, Julian, we got you this far, right? Just be patient, okay? Jimmy and Shiku Domboya. Good morning, Diego. Shiku, what's going on? How's your family? How's everybody? We hope now Karina, my beautiful wife from Venezuela, she's at work right now, okay? Or normally she would be sitting on that chair right there, but I was bored and I wanted to jump on here and help you guys some more. Jimmy Roston, what happened to you? Scott Boyne, cashier check. Okay. Just redo it. Well, how can you redo a cashier check? Cashier check, you should be okay. Shiku, I'm in training class for my new job. Well, congratulations. Shiku, you got your work permit, you got started in a new job, and you're learning the ropes. Well, you're getting your life started in the United States. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. Jimmy Roston, the check again problems. Can you tell us all the paper again? Listen, Jimmy, what happened when Scott sent in the green card application for his wife from Thailand? Some idiot misconstrued it as a family member, not an immediate relative. Your wife is an immediate relative, so there's no priority date. There's no reason to set in a priority date because there's no limit. The Congress has not set a limit of how many people can come in on a K-1 visa. Okay, or a spousal visa. There's no limit on the number of visas or green cards that can be issued. But if you want to bring, like Karina, she wants to bring her mom over here, which she will do when Karina becomes a citizen, there's going to be an I-130 paperwork filled out because there's going to be a priority date assigned for her mom. There's only so many number of green cards that will be issued to moms, dads, brothers, and sisters. So you have to fill out the I-130 for the priority date. But if you come into the United States on a K-1 visa, you don't fill out an I-130. They don't. It's like mixing oil and water. They don't mesh together. Okay? Good job, Shiku. I'm glad to hear that. The girl dragon. Yeah, always go for the money order or check. There you go. Stay away from using your credit card. There you go, girl dragon. That's going to be a mellow yellow salute to girl dragon for her good information. Scott Boyne, hopefully bank will return the money to me since it's to homeland. Go to your bank, explain what happened. Tell them what happened. There was some immigration idiot that messed up your paperwork. They sent everything back, and now you just have to reissue the cashier's check. They're not going to take your money. They're just going to reissue the cashier's check. Okay? give you a new cashier's check, redo the paperwork, resubmit everything. You sent the check twice and it didn't go through. What do you mean you sent the check? What, to immigration? They didn't cash the cashier check? I don't understand. The check for the green card. Well, money's money. When you pay for your green card or your K-1 visa application, it's better to use a personal check, because what immigration will do with a personal check is they will do an electronic scan, and then the bank will send the money to immigration directly, immediately, at the speed of light, 186,000 miles per second, right? But if you use your credit card, the bank may not recognize the charge, and they will block the transaction, and the immigration doesn't get paid. You don't want that to happen, right? Let me see. I don't want to miss anybody's question. MB, I heard that Ghana is not giving out interviews again. In Accra, Ghana, okay, if they're busy, if they're overworked, they will stop doing interviews. The same thing happened at the U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia in July of 2024. Okay, they got busy. The U.S. Embassy in Bogota, Colombia called the NVC, the National Visa Center in New Hampshire, and said, look, guys, we're overwhelmed with K-1 visa applications, spousal visas, tourist visas, blah, blah, blah. Don't send us any K-1 visa applications in the month of July of 2024. Okay, now what happened? The National Visa Center sent out all these emails to applicants who had interviews and who were processing at the embassy in Bogota. Due to COVID, the U.S. Embassy in Bogota is no longer processing K-1 visas. And I got this email and I said, what is this BS? What do you mean due to COVID? There's no freaking COVID in Colombia, in Bogota in July of 2024. Why is the NVC telling me that K-1 visas are not being processed at the embassy in Bogota because of COVID? So I called Karina up in Colombia. I said, hey, can you go down to the embassy in Bogota and check out something for me? Find out if they're processing K-1 visas. So what she did actually was she went to the embassy and she asked the gate guard or whatever if the embassy was closed because of COVID. And he said no. So then she got on her cell phone outside of the embassy and called the embassy up, the visa processing, and said, hey, are you guys closed because of COVID? They said, no, we're processing K-1 visas, but we're just busy right now in this month because of the applications. We got so much stuff going on. We're not accepting any new K-1 visa applications from the National Visa Center. And Karina said, okay. Karina called me up. She said, no, the embassy in Bogota is processing visas, K-1s, the spousals. They're just not accepting any new visas in July. So Accra, Ghana is in the same boat. They got overwhelmed probably with K-1 visa applications. So they called the NVC up in New Hampshire and said, don't send us any more visa applications until we get caught up with the backlog. But you have to go to 2 visa interviews if you are a citizen of Ghana going through the K-1 visa process. You have to go to a preliminary visa interview and then a final visa interview. But they'll get it done. They'll start processing them again. Just be patient. Like I said, this isn't a rush job here. So Jimmy Roston, you have the money. I'm here for 10 months and I didn't get my green card. Well, it's taken about 9 months to process them. They send all the paper back 3 times and they send them back again, and they didn't accept the check. They didn't accept the cashier's check. That doesn't make sense. So send them a personal check. As soon as immigration get paid, they'll start processing your visa. Did you go to the biometrics, Jimmy? Did you go to biometrics? Did you get your fingerprints taken, your photograph taken, and sign your full name? I don't know. I don't know. Send it in a personal check. If you cannot use a cashier check, send a personal check. Okay, guys, I've been talking for an hour. It's lunch. It's 10:30 in the morning. I'm getting hungry. I don't know why I'm getting hungry. Well, I've been up so early I got up real early with Karina, ran into work. And you make out the check. This is who you make out the check to. U.S. Department of Homeland Security. This is who you make out the check to. No abbreviations. You cannot do this. USDEPT. Don't do that. You got to make the check out to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. Jimmy Rustam, can you tell us in detail about all the documents that need to be sent in order to obtain the green card? Sure. If you just hold on one second, because I got a cat that needs to, the cat is scratching outside on the door. I'll be right back. I got to let the cat go and do his business, okay? Don't go anywhere. Okay. So the question is, can I go over the paperwork or the documents about for obtaining the green card? Okay, well, let me list the documents that you're going to need. These are the mandatory documents, okay? You're going to have to put in the form I-485, okay? That is the application for the green card. This is what the beneficiary fills out, but the sponsor can help you. What's the next form? Now, this is the form the sponsor fills out, I-864. This is the affidavit of support. This is the form the sponsor fills out. What else do you have to include in a green card application? You got to repeat the medical exam and recertify your vaccination. So you're going to need the form I-693, mandatory. What else do you need in a green card application? You need this form right here, the I-94, which is your Border Patrol face-to-face interview. When Karina landed in Miami, she had a face-to-face interview with the Border Patrol, Customs and Immigration. They issued her an I-94. They gave her a piece of, it was on a card, they stamped it in her passport, plus they issued her an electronic I-94, which I printed off the computer when we got home a few days later. What else do you need to include in a green card application? Well, you got to make a copy of the K-1 visa, right? In color. Blown up nice and big so the immigration can read it. So you get a blown up color copy of your K-1 visa. What else do you need to include? What else do you need to include? Well, the biographic page of both passports. Okay? So you're going to have the U.S. citizen's passport biographic page and the beneficiary's biographic page of the foreign passport, blown up nice and big. It shows the picture, the expiration date of the passport, etc. What else goes in a green card application? Well, what do you got to prove? You got to prove you got married, right? How do you do that? How do you prove you got married? The marriage certificate. You got to put a certified copy of the marriage certificate. Okay? Birth certificates too, that's true. Birth certificates. Birth certificate of the beneficiary. Right? Now, what if that birth certificate is in a foreign language? Birth certificate. I can't spell birth. What do you have to do? You have to get the birth certificate translated into English. Right? Jimmy Ralston. Who didn't ask me nothing? Who didn't ask you nothing? What are you talking about? Just stump it for me. Stump, what does that word mean? Just stump it for me. I'm going through everything in order that you need for a green card application. And you're saying, didn't ask me nothing. Who is they? Chris and Emil, the I-765, okay? And yeah, and you got to include the approval for your NOA2 letter when you got your K1 visa approved. That's got to be included in there. Pictures of your wedding, pictures of when you were dating each other, joint bank accounts. You got to be on joint bank accounts. You got to be on proof of commingling of funds. Get Sam's Club cards, get BJ Warehouse clubs, get library cards. You got to prove that you live together. You got to prove that you are commingling funds together, and that you've built a relationship. Okay, so when you get to the United States of America, the first thing you do is you print the I-94. Go get your Social Security card. They'll mail it to you from Maryland. Get on the bank, then get on all the bills, and start waiting for them to come in with the names on it. You know, Karina's name is on the trash bill with my name. Her name is on the water bill, the sewage bill. The bills come in either by internet on the email, and I print them, or they get mailed to us. It's easy. And you get a couple of months worth, and then you put all this together in your green card application. Jeff H. So there are 2 interviews in Ghana for the K1 visa. Jeff H. That's correct. There are 2 interviews. You have the first interview, the preliminary, then you have the final interview. Jimmy Ralston, both as of birth certificate. In the border. When you get to the border, when you arrive in the United States of America, immigration, the Border Patrol officer is going to take your sealed packet out of the bag, open it up, and process you into the United States and issue you an I-94. Once you get into the United States, you get an I-94. You go print it, print 6 copies of it, 5 or 6 copies. Then you go get the Social Security card. Then you get on the bank statements. You open up become joint account holders, and then you start putting your K1 visa your green card package together. When I come to the USA, not interview, just stump the day I come in. Stamp, you mean? When you arrive at the United States, when you land at the airport, you get off the plane, you go through immigration, the Border Patrol officer will take you aside and say, okay, you're in a K1 visa process. We're gonna sit there. They're gonna check your paperwork, make sure there's no mistakes. Okay, and then they will give you an I-94. They will issue you one. They'll either issue it on a piece of card, and they'll staple it in your passport. But what you need for the green card application is the printed copy off the internet from the Border Patrol website. That's what you need. The I-94. If you send in a green card application without an I-94, you're going to have everything sent back to you. Because the I-94 is probably more important than the actual K1. Because the I-94 is proof that you met face-to-face with a Border Patrol officer, and he or she issued you a 90-day window of time to get married. The I-94 is going to expire after 3 months. As long as you get married within those 90 days on the I-94, you're in status. If you don't, if you get married past 90 days, you're out of status, you'll be deported. Okay? If you get issued an I-94, which you will, everybody gets one who's a foreign national. I don't. American citizens don't get one, only foreign nationals. If you get married at 95 days, 100 days, well, I just needed a little bit more time to decide if I wanted to get married to this guy. You'll be deported. You're out of status. You've got 90 days. You look at the I-94, you got 90 days to get married. Jimmy, I didn't get a Social Security card. Well, probably because you don't know the process. Do you know the process to get a Social Security card? There's 2 ways you can do it. There's 2 ways. You can either take your I-94, but it can't be expired. If your I-94 is expired, you cannot do it this way. But if your I-94 has not expired, Okay. You can go to the Social Security office with your I-94, with your passport, and apply for a Social Security card. It will be mailed to your house from Baltimore, Maryland in about 10 days. Or you can fill out the I-485, the adjustment of status paperwork, and ask USCIS to process it for you. Jimmy Ralston, yes, I have it. You just said you didn't get a Social Security card. And then you said, yes, you do have it. So which is it? You have it or you don't have it. Okay, guys, I've been talking an hour and 15 minutes. Do I have any more questions? How to process a green card application, how to do this, how to do that. Now remember, don't forget, he said stump it, but don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you want, I have a membership on this channel also. If you want to call me on the phone, if you want to call me on my cell phone with questions any day you want, if you want to email me questions anytime you want, just go into the membership there and sign up as a member. And it's like $9.99 a month. And I'll give you my phone number. Once you become a member, you'll get my email address, and I will give you my phone number, and you can call me, text me. So if you have an immediate question, if you're a member, I'll be open 7 days a week. If you don't want to be a member, that's okay. You can just hang out with us on the live streams, and I'll ask you questions here on the live stream. But if you need me to do this whole thing for you, even fill out the paperwork for you, I'll do it. Just sign up. Jimmy, I didn't apply for a Social Security card in the 3 months they give me. Okay. So so when you filled out your green card application in the I-485, you asked immigration to contact the Social Security Administration to process your Social Security number, right? That's what happened, right? You just said you have your Social Security card. You said you didn't get it, and then you said you do have it. So I'm going to assume you have it. So if you didn't get it from the I-94 because it expired, then you got it from the adjustment of status paperwork that you filled out and submitted for your green card, right? That's how you got it. Okay, guys, I'll see you on the next live stream. Don't forget, if you want to be a member, it's not very expensive. It's $9.99 a month, and you will get my cell number and email address. And then you can text me and call me anytime you want. See you guys at the next live stream. And thank you for that fantastic super sticker there, Girl Dragon. And we'll see you.